This is Hunting Simulator 2. We're on Xbox Series X, taking a look at this now optimized release. Apparently this is a completely standalone, kind of upgrade thing, so just keep that in mind if you are looking at, well, basically jumping into the game again. So you get your tags here in order to hunt stuff, companions, you can go to a shooting range, and you get your loadout from over there. There's a wiki for info, but yeah, you just kind of get this gorgeous sort of lodge as a launching point. And that's why I kind of like to start with it, because it looks really, really cool. But let's go out. So this is the Roosevelt kind of forest park area, just kind of a good starting point to kind of show off the game. We're getting a native 4K resolution, 60 FPS. There is supposed to be HDR support as noted in the store, but my TV's not quite noting it. It could be an issue on my end, just keep that in mind. And yeah, they've got improvements to the graphics and the immersion and some of the other elements of the game. To me, one of the biggest things that I kind of noticed in this one is the pop-in is significantly handled better when it comes to the grass and that of the environment, because I found that it did a lot of kind of loading in as you were kind of walking around taking in the grass, whereas now it feels puffy, it feels full, it feels dense. And, that's just definitely a better experience. So we're kind of starting out fresh here. I got a decent gun. We did, I had played this game to review it on the last gen, so seeing the upgrade here is quite nice. I like the addition of the dog, but it also kind of feels like something that doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of a focus to it, if that makes sense. It's kind of just wandering around hunting, which, I mean, it's Hunting Simulator 2, right? It's just not necessarily something that is going to be really action-packed gameplay-wise. But if you want something where you're kind of, going around, moving through the environment, just kind of taking in nature and occasionally hunting, down some animals and stuff like that, I think it sort of hits the mark in that regard. It's got all of these different tools and items you can use. It tries to stay kind of true to the vision of that. You get a cool doggo. I don't know, I think it kind of does a decent job in that regard, and it can be something that you might find entertaining and interesting because of how that is handled. So it is neat that they brought it back for next gen. It just would have been nicer if it was perhaps just like a quick upgrade on it, if that makes sense. So there's also a little bit of a new story ranger thing you can do as well in this, and there's new rare varieties for 27 of the game's animals that kind of mixes things up further. So just kind of a better overall experience that feels a lot more realistic and, kind of natural to the overall game experience. There's a bird. Yeah, usually you come across things eventually. So what you have to do is actually, like, find tracks, kind of analyze the tracks. You can send your doggo to kind of chase down on the tracks, and and then you shoot something. What'd you find, boy? Oh, and you can also interact with your dog and be encouraging.
That's a good dog.
And then you kind of improve your stats lightly. There's like a light stats system. So noise and stuff is important too. You gotta keep that in mind as we run like a maniac through the forest to go and try to find this deer to shoot it. Assuming we have, the actual... No, not a licensed animal? You've got to be kidding me. Well, we can't hunt that. Because, we're not licensed. I bought tags. I shouldn't have bought this expensive gun. Paid good money for this gun. I should have just bought all the tags and I could shot everything. I feel like we're only going to be shooting peasants and stuff. Pheasants? Yeah. What are they going to do? Find me? They did find me. Unethical hunt. Shot without a license. So that's a big no-no. But, I mean, it'd be weird to do a hunting game video and not shoot a deer, right? It cannot be bagged. But you also get kind of information on the animal, too. When you go up to it, you can see where you shot it, the damage you did, claim details, it's kind of interesting. But like I was saying, you can analyze the blood, the footprints, and you could be like, hey, doggo, track this, and then it would be able to find it, stuff like that. You can get different types of dogs, you can get different types of things you can do. It's quite interesting in that regard. It's just not necessarily the most exciting thing. and it feels, I wouldn't say light on content, but you know, it's got like I think 6 or so arenas of like, you know, locations that you can go to, and they're decently big. They definitely are, but there's not really, like, they're just hunting grounds. There's nothing past that really in the game. It's just an experience of going and, you know, hunting and stuff. And I don't personally find it to be the most riveting of times, but you know, I gotta say, is like a bit of a nature kind of walking simulator type thing mixed in with some hunting. I think it's kind of a cool game. You know, I think it has the potential for a particular audience to be unique for them and to provide lots of gameplay, because you can just kind of go and you can hunt in the different areas, get more money. You know, you can either get money, or you can, you know, kind of put your trophies up on the wall and stuff like that. You do you, right? And then you get better gear and better tools. Usually there's a lot more critters out here, so I don't know if we're just not necessarily coming across them, but you feel like you're in an actual place is like the biggest part of this for me. Is it feels fairly immersive. Like if I was to go hunting, which I don't necessarily think I'll ever end up doing in my life, but you never know, right? Weirder things have happened, I guess. But yeah, it just kind of, to me, captures that feeling of being out there in the wilderness, you know, looking for creatures and, you know, doing hunts and stuff like that. I think it's kind of interesting. And again, just like the loading of like the grass and stuff, to me is like a big improvement over how it was, because I remember that being like a standout feature for me, was just like, wow, that dog is just running along that hill not caring at all. That is fantastic. But yeah, like I was saying, it's just like I remember that being a huge thing where it's like the pop-in was crazy. Now obviously the grass isn't loading in on all of this stuff perfectly well, but you can see that it's actually kind of out there, and that's, to me, a nice upgrade. Because I think if you're going from, well, you can see the light kind of going here, which is odd, but, you know, if you're going from that original game, you liked it, you want more of it, you can experience it in a lot better of the light. If you never played it, you know, this is a good first time to get in there. Now you can kind of see the grass and the backdrop there kind of loading in a little bit as we're getting closer to it. But it's handled, you know, in a lot more of a hidden way, especially with like the tree density and the shrubs. I think eventually we'll get to a point where games, you know, everything, even games like this, will just be like perfectly dense and immersive the whole way through. It'll be insane. We're not quite there yet, but, you know, as a next-gen version, I think this one actually kind of hits the mark for that. With my doggo, and sorry we're not running into things constantly, but that's not necessarily what hunting is, as to say. But I think this is a good point for us to kind of back out and show off another area so that you can see more of how the environments have changed within them. Do you see anybody there? Hey, doggo? Are you on the trail? Like a pheasant or something? Anyways, let's swap it up. And we will show this off here. So we're going to go actually to the lodge, because I want to show off basically the loading and stuff, which is so much faster in this one. Actually, maybe the open Pawnee Meadows, yeah. So for this one, the pop-in was very, very bad. And as you can see, it's a lot better. Like, it looks like a fully grassed out environment that you're going through. And this one's kind of crazy because I think it opens up the hunting a lot, because you can just kind of like, you know, see things for miles if you come across it. However, there being so many more animals out here, it's strangely quiet, eh, doggo? And you can see the licenses you own for that particular region. And it's just kind of like a really gorgeous backdrop to me. Like, you really feel like you're in a nice place. Oh, do we got a duck in the marsh? This is a wetland. Wait, do we have a license for these ducks? We do have a license for ducks. Wrong caliber? You think, oh, these are goose. You're saying that the gun would absolutely just pulverize these things? That would kind of be entertaining, wouldn't it? Yeah. Let's keep looking and see what else we can find. And then you can also, like, you go up to these places. This is like one of the watchtower areas. I thought this might be a neat little spot to show. Okay, actually, yeah, okay, let's get it over there. Come on, doggo. I do think it's humorous that you just kind of like fast travel on these things. You can just like pop up in them. Oh, yeah, you gotta like enter it and then you're in a blind and you can be like, I'm watching the ducks. And then you've got a map. And you can do like little tiny tag notes if you want to kind of go places. And then that's a fast travel system. So you want to go between places you've been, you can just kind of fast travel if they're important back to your homestead, which is kind of nice. And yeah, it's just kind of a really sort of immersive game in regards to how it handles, you know, the visuals and stuff. I think this looks lovely. I don't know if others feel that way, but yeah. I don't know if I'm crazy, doggo, but I think this rifle would not necessarily be the best hunting option for ducks and stuff. I guess also the fact that there's more grass, it's a lot harder to see animals walking out there. Yeah, that's one problem. Next gen, it's too realistic. Smoke that thing, am I right? Unethical. Wrong caliber used. It's always unethical this, unethical that. You killed the animal you're not supposed to kill. No, I know that that's, you know, it's against the hunting code and all that, but I'm just, you know, it's a game. It's a video game. And then we'll show off, I think one more area would make sense. So this is a desert location, if you couldn't tell. And I thought this might be a nice change of pace. There's like a cool marshlands and stuff, but I thought environmentally this one was quite different to kind of present. Again, it feels like decently immersive in terms of like throwing you into a place. I think that's quite well handled. And I think the game gives you a good amount of things that you can unlock and work towards and purchase and just go and hunt. That's the biggest thing, is if you just want to be in a hunting game, you don't want anything too over the top or crazy, you could just go out and you can hunt and you can explore and see what's out there, which is kind of nice. Where are you going, dog? He's found something.
Such a good dog. Let's go.
Desert bighorn sheep. Do I have a license for that? Oh no! Why? Oh, curses me. I just wanted to shoot things. Why did I spend so much money on this nice rifle and now there's nothing I can hunt? Ah, the agony. At least I think so. Well, then again, thus far on my journey, I haven't exactly hunted with the most ethical style in mind, that's for sure. But at least I showed off a little bit of the hunting mechanics. Yeah. Do we have that? How did I could have sworn I bought the white-tailed. That drives me crazy. You know, I really thought I had that tag, and now we're $500 under. Man, that sucks. What can we even hunt in this area? Rabbits and bobcats. Well, hopefully if we come across a bobcat, you know, I'll fire that thing and get it down right away. I don't know, you kind of feel like you're in a little bit of a... Is it called the bushland? Is that, you know, kind of a correct terminology for this area, I'm wondering? You know, but you feel like you're in this kind of desert-type region and just kind of taking it in, doing the hunts with your trained dog, having a good time. And yeah, you can get different dogs too. I remember this being like one of the big features for when they were like first being like, you know, you can review this game and they've got dogs in it to hunt with, and it's like, what? Crazy, right? What an absolute evolution of gameplay. I was trying to get over to the tower here. The Tower of Power. It's not too far away. Just to show off kind of an elevated position, because I thought that might be a nice little showcase of the spot. Seeing a little bit of pop in here, but it's like hidden a lot better is my big thing. And it's great to see already like a minor boost like this in early kind of games where they're doing that sort of upgrade, and we're going to be like, okay, there's more that they could do with this. Oh, crap. The cottontail rabbit. I saw it dash away as a little bunny.
Let's go.
You go hunt it. I will stand up here and shoot. Anyways, it's kind of a nice spot so you can see things. I don't know, it's kind of a good looking game. I think it's quite beautiful, very gorgeous in terms of the scenery and the setup. And I think it provides a good amount of hunting and activities and things for you to take in as you're going about enjoying the style of a hunting simulator title. Oh, good doggo.
That's a good dog.